Good morning everybody, my name's Georgia McLaren and thank you for joining us for our presentation today. We were lucky enough to be assigned the Instructors Resource Toolbox, namely because of our involvement in instructing in our various clubs. So a little bit about me, as I said, I'm from Te Tahi Bay and I'm involved in the coordination of the Surf Lifeguard Award training in my club.
Kia ora everyone, my name is Tyler. I'm from the United Beach Surf Life Saving Club. At my club, I'm currently the chief examiner and I'm also chief instructor, and I'm also a chief chief instructor and I'm the regional examiner.
Hi, I'm Isaac. I'm from Raglan and I'm chief IRB instructor.
Morena everyone, my name is Lucy and I'm from Waihi Beach Surf Life Saving Club, where I am the chief instructor and an examiner for my region. So today we are going to take you through our project aims, what we have got from our survey and what we have achieved in our future recommendations. So because Surf Life Saving New Zealand is such a broad, national, big organisation made up of many different regions and clubs, the differences in instructing resources and thus candidate ability has been identified as an issue. Because of this, our project aims to improve instructor knowledge and skills through improving the consistency of teaching and through creating resources tailored for today's learners and instructors. We did a bit of research and the current resources available online are an instructor's workbook, the candidate's workbook and manual, and some clubs had developed their own specific resources for that club's use. We then decided to go and talk to our chief examiners for all of the regions as we saw them as experts in the surf lifeguard development. What we found out from our survey was that the top 3 reasons they thought the candidate inconsistencies were due to lack of support for new instructors, little training and limited resources. From there, we then decided to do a bigger survey of all club instructors that are refreshed. From this diagram, you can see that we got a range of responses across the 4 regions, which is what we were after. From the results, we identified that the top motivation for becoming an instructor was due to a lack of instructors at their club. So it was to fill a need rather than because they enjoy instructing or they wanted to pass on their knowledge. It was to fill the need. We also identified that the top 2 hardest things they found about instructing was coordinating busy schedules and the large time commitment involved. When asked what could Surf Life Saving do to better support them in their instructing, they gave us the top 5 reasons of giving them online resources and modules, updated resources, instructional videos, and practice tests and quizzes and PowerPoint slides.
So once we had surveyed our instructors, we decided to peel it back just one more layer and just get a little bit of a better understanding about who the people were that these instructors were dealing with kind of at that grassroots level. So we went into the database and obviously we can't extract information about the psychological analytics on each person, but we could just get the basic information such as age and gender. So what we did, we took a report from the 2017-18 season, and what we've got here is the spread of all of the candidates who gained their Surf Lifeguard Award in that season. So it might not be that clear from where you're sitting, so I'll just talk you through some of the stats that just kind of stood out to us. So what we noticed in a lot of the regions were that there were really high numbers of 14 and 15-year-old male and females coming through, particularly in the eastern region and the northern region. So that's possibly an attribute of strong junior surf programs. So we've got our under 14s coming through and becoming lifeguards, which is fantastic. But when we looked at other regions, such as Central region, we noticed that there were actually equal number of 14 and 15-year-olds and the 16 and 19-year-old age group. So that was represented by the blue and the red lines here, so you'll see they were very similar. And then we also looked at the other end of the scale in our 50-plus age group, where it was a really small representation. In some regions, we had no 50-plus females, for example. So this was us starting to just get a better understanding of, we've got these instructors, they need to deliver something to these people. This is the broad range of people, so how are our resources catered to these particular people and their learning styles that they all have.
So there's 4 types of learning styles. You've got visual learners, and then you've got the listening, and then you've got reader writing, and then you've got kinesthetic. So you've got visual learners, which are presentations, PowerPoints, videos, which what we've focused our presentation on in our project. Then you've got listeners, so they can listen to the videos. Then you've got reader writers, so we've done quizzes. And as Georgia will be talking about later on, you can access those all on the website. Then you've got kinesthetic, which are doers, so they'll be able to do it. So I'm going to ask you guys to just raise your hand, and I'm going to go through the list and just have a look around the room and see what type of learners you guys are. So what about visual learners? Just raise your hand. Sweet. And then you've got like listeners that enjoy listening. Sweet. Then you've got reader writers. Cool. And then you've got kinesthetic. Right? So there are multiple, you can have multiple different learning types, and that's what we've tried to cater for. As Georgia spoke about, we've got 14 to 16-year-olds, which are visual learners and kinesthetic. So that's why we've done the pushing towards the doing the presentation of the videos. Cool, so we've got modern resources, so obviously videos are quite modern, and then we've got the modern learners, which are our 14 to 16-year-olds, which we're focusing on. We've got candidates that can also learn on the website. They can access all these videos, PowerPoints, quizzes, which means that the instructors don't necessarily have to coach every single bit of information. The candidate can go back to the website and review their stuff. And this is where we want to support the instructors.
So as Isaac's touched on, we wanted to create a central platform where instructors and candidates alike could access this information that we would be providing to them. So we decided that the Surf New Zealand website was the appropriate place for this for now, and there may be technology that comes out that's more suitable than this. But for now, what we've done is created a space in the lifeguarding section, so under lifeguarding education. And just so you're clear, if anyone wants to go there, there actually is a page there already, just a base. But what we've done is taken that, copied it, and we've started to develop it further and put our own resources that we've been working on as a group. So you won't see it because it's in draft mode, but what we've got here is just another one that we're working on. It's just got the manual and the workbook, which we've currently got on there at the moment, as well as the current instructor's manual. But the development that we've done is to make it easier for instructors who are obviously, they've got these candidates and whatever, regardless of how their program works, they have to teach these sections that we see in the manual. So to make it that much easier for them, what we've done is broken it into the sections based on the manual. So for example, section 3, respect. And what we've done is taken the resources that we've worked on as a group and future resources that can be put there as well. We've just made it really easy for them to find. So breaking it into the sections, breaking it into the subsections in the manual, and providing what Isaac touched on earlier. We've worked on some quizzes, PowerPoints, and we've also got the development of some videos underway. So we've got ours here linked. Tyler will show you a little bit more about those, but just for an example of what it could look like, we're quite lucky that St. John had provided us with a few first aid videos. This is one that is currently online, so this is the kind of layout that we'd be looking for. So it's quite easy for instructors just to access with one click. So.
Awesome. So as part of our resources, we wanted to create some educational clips. So that's kind of catering for our visual learners, our auditory learners, as well as our kinesthetic learners. So we're really covering all those bases there. Each of these short videos is based around a certain skill, for example, a tube rescue. And our main idea was that we wanted to create 2 separate videos of the same skill. So one for the candidates, so we can present that to them in maybe a classroom setting, or they can go home and watch it themselves, gain a really good understanding of what they need to focus on, what kind of techniques they need to focus on, and what they might be examined on. So just giving them a really sound idea so they can feel really confident when they go out and perform that. We also wanted to create another version of that for the instructors. So that's the same video essentially, but broken down into separate parts, and offer suggestions on how they could further teach this to their candidates, making sure they're catering for all the different needs and techniques. Fantastic. So To plan for these videos, we've created some video plans, so we've got quite a few of these. Each of these talks about a certain skill that we want to talk about throughout the video, the key points about that skill, and it also gives us an approximation of how long each section will take and the equipment involved. Just because of the upcoming changes to the Surf Lifeguard Award, these plans have been put on hold just to save some time, money and resources. So once all that information has been confirmed, we can reshuffle these around to make sure they're in line with the new Surf Lifeguard Award. So when we develop these, they are current and awesome, ready to throw out there. So along with our video plans, we also created some storyboards, which Lucy handed out before. So this just gives you a bit more of a visual representation of what these videos could look like. So each kind of each kind of picture just shows us what kind of technique we want to use, the equipment involved, and different camera angles that we really want to focus on. Cool, so here's just another example of one of our storyboards. This one's for the board module. Sweet, so we also created some online quizzes. So these are in both a PowerPoint format and a Word document. These will be uploaded onto the website in the near future. And the idea is that candidates can look at these online by themselves in their own time, or it can be done in a classroom setting. Instructors can talk through the answers with their candidates so everyone gains a really good understanding of what's going on. So at the moment we've generated 4 quizzes which come under the following headings: respond, risk management, respect, roles and responsibilities. So one of the main things around these quizzes was, I know at my club we've had a couple of 14-year-olds coming through the Surf Lifeguard Award, and they feel quite a bit of anxiety and stress when they're coming up to this theory exam, mainly because a lot of them haven't done many exams in their lifetime, and yeah, it stresses them out because they're not quite sure what they're going into. So providing them with this resource just kind of alleviates a bit of stress around that, because it gives them a bit of insight as to what they're going into. So when they go into that exam, they're feeling a bit more comfortable with asking the questions and things like that. So moving forward, what are we going to do? We are going to publish our resources online live, and we're also going to update those resources to be in line with the new Surf Lifeguard Award. Sweet, so how does this affect surf lifesaving overall? So firstly, these resources are going to save lives by helping to develop high-level lifeguards who are really confident in their skills and abilities, really confident in training, so that can be put out there on the beach in practice. It's also going to develop leaders and champions by empowering instructors and candidates to maximise those learning opportunities. So we're providing them with lots of different resources. They can take that on and really empower themselves to learn. I think we can all agree surf is a lifelong learning journey, so if we can start it off at this stage, some self-learning, we can just put that through the entire surf career. And it's also going to engage communities and support sustainability by supporting those instructors. We're supporting those candidates. We're creating high-level instructors, supporting them, and that will carry on through to those candidates. So hopefully this will help with member retention, #InItForLife. Awesome, and just one final recommendation. We all know that the delivery and the quality of instruction highly depends on the knowledge and support we are giving those instructors. So just to make sure they're really prepared, we suggest that the Instructors Award be reassessed and maybe remodeled to prepare those instructors to essentially train the next generation of lifeguards. We want to make sure they're feeling confident in themselves and that they can deliver this information to their candidates. So we're creating high-level candidates with lots of enthusiasm and confidence, yeah. So we put this forward as a possible project for the 2019-2020 BP Leaders for Life.
Sweet, so we understand that this was a massive project, and so we've done, I can definitely talk for these guys, we've put everything that we can do, and we've gone above and beyond, and to try and help candidates and instructors teach these. We recommend that, as Tyler said, we recommend that there's definitely a leadership group for next year can pick this up, and definitely we want to support the long-term goal is to support instructors and crewmen, instructors and candidates through their awards. A big thank you to these following. Big thanks to BP for being able to do this course. And would you guys have any questions? Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yep.
G'day guys, I'm Paul, I'm with the New Zealand Board, and thank you for your presentation, it was great. I really liked your alignment there with some of the strategic framework as well. Well done on the toolbox stuff there.
Thank you.
Hey, I was just curious in terms of a question. Did you collect, in terms of the data that you collected, is there more to it than what you just presented there? And specifically, did you collect any data around how many lifeguard cycles, if you like, instructors had taught? So how experienced the instructors were?
Yes. So we kind of had brackets, so less than 1 year up to 5+ seasons. So we didn't quite include that in this, but we do have more information if you would be interested in seeing it.
Interesting. How many were, like relatively, how many were in that bracket of sort of less experienced, 1 or 2 years or whatever, compared to many years of instructor experience?
So there was about 5 out of the 23 that, or how many did
Yeah, 24.
24 did the survey, so there was like 3 or 4. So
Okay.
yeah, the rest of them were 3+ years.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I have one.
Yep.
Which, I'm Trevor, also on the board of Surf Life. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Presentation was pretty slick. It had most of it down in there. But my question is, have you thought about, or did you give some thoughts about the resource needed going forward, so that this doesn't just become a project which has got a lot of potential, maybe it's taken on board and then just stops because no one's got time to update it or whatever. So, because I see this as a living document, which just continually goes on.
Yeah, I think you're right there, and I think that would be a discussion that would have to be had probably with the member education team for us, and I'm not sure what the budget is and where they see it, but for us, yeah, as you say, it's something that would need to continuously be updated. So I think that would just be us talking to the people that manage that side of the.
Yeah, and as we said, right now, because of the changes, we stopped. We didn't produce the video, so after the changes, hopefully another group or someone takes it on and can continue developing as things change. Yeah.
No, thanks.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did, and it sort of made me have a whole lot of other questions now. For the Surf Lifesaving head office. Because I've always had the view that with ideas and projects like that, don't put dollars as the handbrake. Sort of, it's a great idea, the dollars will somehow follow to support it. And sort of I've been said so many times that dollars go as a handbrake. No, can't do that because you've got budget. Put that aside and just focus on what you want to achieve.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm Central Region Manager. I really like the bit around the differing learning styles. I thought it was fantastic. It's just a bit of an eye-opener for me personally. And obviously you're going to have instructors with different teaching styles if you're going to have a different learning style. And there will be people out there whose strength is very much on the beach and the practical, whatever it might be, and there's other people who are much, much stronger in the theory side. Has any thought been given to getting these key people in a room together and talking to them and getting them to drive some of the strategies going forward in terms of the development of material? So you've got a lot of stuff online, and well done G for getting more stuff on the website. So, just that, one-on-one, Jim Warwick's in the room, he might have a comment to make on this as well, so that you've got people in a room, 3 or 4 times a year, who are exchanging ideas, talking about best practice, talking about things that are working for them, etc.
Yeah, no, we haven't thought about that, but there is no doubt we could think about that going forward. As a group, we could definitely think about that. It's just, we haven't thought. Yeah.
And at the start we did talk about how we would love to kind of create like a group that meets up maybe once a year. The Coromandel instructors meet up together and
Yeah.
talk about how they do things. So we have thought about in a more smaller kind of
Not a
Yeah.
nationwide as such group, but like
Yeah, it's a
areas.
really good
so
idea.
the 4 areas. So,
In some of the survey feedback, a few, not a lot of instructors, but they thought that a kind of instructor forum would be a really helpful tool. So this is just the start of this platform. Who knows where it can go into, but that could be included going forward.
Yes, I was making a comment. I really like the idea with coming towards the end of saying you've also got to look at the instructors and to upgrade that training and everything else, because if you have what you're doing coming through and they're still thinking the old way.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Lane.
I'm Jim. I'm the chief examiner for Cape Coast, also chair of the club. I've got a couple of questions, but first of all, yeah, great presentation. Can relate to what you're saying, and I think you've got on the money in regard to where we're at and some of the things we're trying to do. First question is, out of all of the sort of like data and information that you've got and your conclusions, what's the one thing that you think we can do right now to improve the level of instruction across the country?
Well, change is always a long-term goal, essentially, but
what it comes down to is a change. A lot of people don't like change, and it's something that today you can have change. And so if we've got those old examiners, old instructors that are teaching the old way, as you talked about, how do we put forward to them the idea of using these tools to better the education of the candidates? Does that answer your question? Or?
And yeah, I think in my personal experience, and I know another instructor in our groups, we put so much time and effort into the background of running a camp. So much time into making my candidates, they all sit practice tests, and I have so many versions of that, and so do other instructors. So to have that kind of resource online, and for me not to have to worry about that, would really help me personally, I think.
But I think in terms of the instructor themselves, that will have to be something that is derived from the change in the Instructors Award.
So second, it's more like an observation. I think that what you've done is really good, and I think that you're going forward, but I think there's some issues that really have gotten out that we need to deal with. So I think collectively, like through Brad, it's like the videos. I think the videos is one thing that could actually make a huge difference to instructors, and there's probably a zero budget at the moment to actually do that. But if we work collectively, we can actually do those in groups or get a group together so that we don't need to necessarily come together. We can actually get a group of people together to actually do those and get them moderated. So I think that would actually help instructors, examiners, and the standard throughout the country.
Yeah, just to get something out there
Yep.
now to support them, yeah. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jess. I'm the National Officer here. Great presentation. I think it's a really important subject. It's have you guys looked into or worked on the content behind the instructor's training course? I mean, do you think that that is enough training for an instructor to go through 1 day's learning essentially to be able to become an instructor and teach lifeguards and things like that? Do you think there's enough content in just a 1 day course?
We didn't actually look at that, so that was just that one slide was that is our suggestion. We focused on more getting resources for them. But that, yeah, is the further on.
Yeah, personally speaking though, I think some kind of support once you become an instructor, because you do your 3 exams, you put through your 4 candidates and you do your award, but after that you're kind of left to your own devices, and if you don't have a strong kind of senior instructor, it can be quite frightening. So maybe implementing something so every month or something there's some kind of workshop or something, even if it's for an hour, you can bring your issues to the table and discuss. Yeah.
question from Belinda, who's tuning in online. How much work do you anticipate there being in the actual filming and production of the videos?
Lots.
Good answer, thank you.
With our storyboards and the video plans that Tyler was talking about, we've done a lot of like the groundwork for it. So except the ones that we were kind of suggested that might be changing to save time and resources, we didn't focus on them, but we have got a lot of groundwork there, so it wouldn't be as much as there was at the start.
Any more questions? Cool. Well done, guys.